What's up, great girlfriends? It's Sybil here, and this pod mama has a pod baby. That's right, the Grace Podcast, which is a spiritual development podcast dedicated to helping you grow in your relationship with God through the Word of God. Listen in each week as we take your life, plug it into scriptures, and refresh it with biblical insights to make you more bold and brave each day. You can log on to my website, sybilamudi.com, to catch up on the most recent episodes and leave your iTunes review. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I am your host, Brandice Daniel.
I'm your co-host, Sybil Amuti.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? She ready. I just feel like saying it.
Did you say she ready?
She ready.
Clearly, we missed recording this podcast. We are actually recording another. We just did one episode in our Facebook group, and we're doing a second podcast episode in our Facebook group.
Yes. Shout out to all the great girlfriends in our Facebook community. Hey,
yes.
Hey. There's over 16,000 women from around the world in that community. So if you're not a part of the Great Girlfriends Facebook group, please, would you just get over there, join the group, get connected, make some friends, be merry.
Yeah, it's like literally 16,000 women sitting in the living room. I mean, honestly, people post something in that group and like the ladies respond.
Yeah, promptly and
like,
honestly.
Honestly, like you... Free therapy.
And honestly. So yeah. I like it. I go there for honest feedback. I go there just to check in. I go there to leave something awesome.
I'm telling you.
All of that. And so we love that group. But anyway, what's up? I wanted to...
You gonna read an iTunes review?
I did. I want to read an iTunes review because guess what? We are still accepting iTunes reviews.
Yes.
I know some of you thought we may not be taking more, but
we are.
We are currently accepting iTunes reviews from all of you.
So you got a new review to read?
Yes, I have a new review to read. And this one is from Breezy Girl 81. I wonder, did I read this already?
I don't know.
Let's see. Sybil and Brandice have been my voice of reason, my support, and my motivation to want and do better in life.
No, I never heard this one, Sybil.
They helped me stay positive and go for best, and even in those times, I don't think they can push me to dig deep and find the desire to keep going. Two of the most inspiring women I know. Not only are they my girlfriends, but my big sisters for life.
Oh, thank you for calling us big sister and not auntie. Because let me tell you something.
I'm way too fly for that.
Now we are both aunts in real life.
I mean, whatever. But
however, we prefer to be your big sister.
I love being a big sister.
Yes,
I love that. Thank you so much, Breezy Girl 81. And we don't read iTunes reviews every single episode, but we do want to shout them out as much as we can. So salute to you, and we look forward to getting up to our 100 review minimum that we want from all of you. So.
Yes.
Be sure to leave your review.
So are we jumping right in?
Let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's just jump right in.
Well, we've been away long enough. We did a whole lot of small talk on the last episode, which y'all can go listen to. Yes.
Get your pen and paper. Get your pen and paper out.
It's showtime.
Sybil's about to school y'all today.
Brandice and I got to school y'all, but I do want to acknowledge that this is Brandice's topic. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to acknowledge is that when we started this podcast, this was not Brandice's topic.
No, it wasn't.
But I want to acknowledge that by the grace of God, Brandice has arrived to a point of conviction around this topic. And so I am very happy to be a part of this podcast today with you, Brandice.
Well, thank you, Sybil. Thank you.
For just having me. I'm just blessed to be here.
You know what? Let me tell you, we have, honestly, at this point, we've shared everything.
Yeah.
So, though love was not my favorite topic of choice because I was a very private person, you great girlfriends know everything about my love life at this point. So why hold back anything now?
I agree with you.
just go back. You can go back and start with episode 2.
Yes. Love is part 1.
Go to the Great Girlfriends podcast, episode 2, and you can learn all about me and Sybil's love life.
She was so hesitant, y'all. I mean, you should have seen the side eye rolls that she was giving me.
We're doing a podcast. We're talking about love.
Who wants to talk about that?
Well,
but then when she gets in it, you hear and Sybil, and then the crying and the snot. All of that happens. All that. So we're back on it.
Oh, the shade.
We're back on it, though. This is a great topic because this is cuffing season and some of y'all are in the thick of it and need to get out of it.
Y'all should see Sybil's face.
You need to get out.
Great girlfriends.
You need to get out of cuffing season.
Face.
You need to get out of that cuff.
Get out
you
the
need
cuff.
to get out that
Get
cuff and get in a real relationship.
Totally.
Amen. Amen.
So we wanted to talk about love because I asked a couple great girlfriends, Jennifer and Dana, what they wanted us to talk about on the podcast. And inside the Facebook group, feel free, go into the Facebook group, say, tag us, Brandice and Sybil, and just say, here's a topic of conversation. Like, here's a podcast topic you guys should consider, and we will absolutely consider it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she mentioned love. They love our love episodes. And so I said, Sib, it's great that people love the love episodes, but the one thing I don't think people realize is that love is work.
Absolutely.
And not the kind of work that you think it is, but it's work.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't want to do the work required for love.
Yeah.
And so, we do an amazing job. When I say we, I mean we as just a people do an amazing job on social, sharing the highlights of our life.
Come on.
But you don't get you see the happy couple, but you don't understand what it's taking for them to get there or what it takes for them to continue that happiness.
Yeah.
Like, it takes work.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And so we just want to spill the beans behind that beautiful picture that you guys see on Instagram or on a magazine cover or in the, we're not even talking about the movies, but on a magazine cover or, somewhere. We want to give you the story behind that picture.
Yeah. But isn't it true that we have a lot of great girlfriends who believe in the fairy tales? And so we've got a bunch of princesses who are just waiting on this prince to just come in this enchanted life and take them away into this dream where they don't have to do anything but be a princess. And the prince goes out and slays all the dragons and comes home and they can just be a princess. So we believe in these fairy tales.
We do.
And we do. You buy into the Notebook. I cried.
Yes.
I cried many tears watching The Notebook. And I cried. A bunch of our great girlfriends are imagining this carefree life of love. It's true. It's
a carefree life of love.
Carefree.
There is no such thing as a carefree life of love.
Did Jesus have a carefree life? He had to cast care.
There is no such thing. If you are in a love relationship, it is not carefree.
It's not carefree, but that fairy tale tells you that the prince does everything and that
the princess just sits and accepts and
wear beautiful dresses and have
your
your hair pinned up in these beautiful, looks and makeup and these slippers that just take you away.
It's so true. I was watching Sex and the City 2.
Because it was on, on E!
Right, it was on a lot. And and when Carrie and Big finally got married and literally they took you into the fairy tale, right? They went to the big, huge penthouse apartment and he was
just
like,
a dream.
And the movie was, that's why it did so well, right? Yes. The movie was just like a dream and he built her dream closet and it was just a dream.
She got to live her life and do her thing.
Yes. She showed up in the beautiful dress and
Yeah, no work.
Yeah. Which is why Hollywood can stay in business.
Lies and deceit.
Hollywood stays in business.
Yes. And what else? What else about that? You said this when I love you said we want what we don't give.
Oh my God. So
I'm gonna get my Hammond organ out. Get my tambourine.
Lord have mercy. Great girlfriends. We are asking, can you imagine? Sib, how many times have you heard women say, I want a guy who's super wealthy, who is 6'3", who is built, who works out, who's muscular, who smells good, who goes to church, who, love kids and
I'm over here cracking up.
who love babies and puppies.
You could have stopped at Fit at
like
the gym.
all of that. But I'm like, well, where are your finances right now?
Yeah.
Where
does that gym membership
Where
off.
are you financially? Where are you physically?
Yeah.
Are you loving babies and puppies? Really, we literally write out our list of what we want, and we have to ask ourselves, if that guy has that same list, do we add up?
Come on.
Let's reverse that list.
Yeah.
And do we add up to that list?
Yeah.
And if we're not adding up to that list, come on, let's be reasonable here.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely true. It's that imagining that, he can be perfect and he'll just take me with all my imperfections and his perfectness will cover
his perfect will cover. Yes.
Imperfect. And that I don't ever have to work on anything.
Yes. That's so true.
Yeah.
And do you know, that's not it's not a rare thing.
No.
So many women want that.
I can tell you, if I were to call my husband in the room right now and talk about that, anytime that there is this man that's heralded as this fine, and Idris is a classic example because we had many girlfriends who were like, oh, if I could just get to Idris.
Or find me a man that looks like Idris.
Yes. And Kwaku would be like, yeah, he might not necessarily want to stop and talk and chat if you're not prepared. You are not bringing your Idris to the table. Where is his match?
Right.
And now some people are saying, well, let's just take physique, for example, because some people are saying, well, Idris picks da-da-da-da-da. That's not the point. The point is that everyone thought that he was this stud and that once he met them, it would be the end of the story. But there's something you have to bring to the table. In order to bring that, it's got to be work.
Right. And even we want people who challenge us intellectually, and that I remember, I'll never forget thinking, I want somebody who can show me some things. That was in my 20s. I said, oh no, I want a man who can show me and introduce me to the finer things in life. Help me to understand what this is and what that is and who, I wanted that. But guess what? That man probably wants that too. What can I introduce him to?
Yeah, vice versa.
What can I teach him that he doesn't know? How can I stimulate his mind?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, come on, great girlfriends.
and like you were saying too, another piece of that is not wanting to compromise anything. Not wanting to give up anything, but wanting to gain everything. It's all a part of that fairy tale that you take me as I am and I can live my life as I am, and you do all the work, Mr. Prince. You do all the work. If Cinderella wasn't the biggest lie.
Cinderella was such a big lie. She said, what did she do? She showed up.
Yeah, but she showed up and it was a wrap. She didn't have to dust anything after she showed up. She put that slipper on and her life just changed completely.
Yeah.
And, the parts of the story that they don't show you is the entire team, probably hundreds of people behind the production of that movie. Yes. Somebody's going to do the work to tell the story. Someone's going to do the work. You're going to have to compromise something. If you want to tell that story properly, your love story, and if you want to make it this crafted, this dream, imaginary thing, then you're going to have to do a whole lot more work than the rest of us. I don't want the imaginary story. I want the real story. So I'm good with my portion of work. Someone's going to do the work.
I saw the post. I think we've seen the post from Tiffany the Budgetnista, who we love. And she was talking about when she met her husband. Mm-hmm. She was a daycare. What did she say? She was a preschool teacher, and he was. What did she say? He was he?
He was like a civil servant,
a maintenance.
Yeah, something like that.
He worked in maintenance or something. Mm-hmm. But I just think about women who meet men at a certain place where, it may not be that he got the VP position right now, right? Mm-hmm. But her seeing something in him. Now everybody's like, oh, Tiffany, your husband. You know what I mean? But she met him when he wasn't there.
He was not there. Yeah. I mean, and that's the part of relationships that require the most work, I think, is holding on to the vision. Mm-hmm. Hold on to that. But the other part of that too, I don't want to forget this other piece that we know is a challenge for a lot of us is, being a lady. Being the lady that your man will want to be with. Being the type of woman that knows how to be a lady. Being a woman and being a lady don't always go hand in hand. And in the society, this age that we're in, you know, we're grabbing our own doors, we're grabbing our own this, we're paying for everything ourselves.
Oh my
we don't
God,
need him to do anything.
We're saying no to everything.
We're so resistant to the nurture that comes along with the guy being a gentleman. And so forsaking the idea that there is no room for a lady, that's a lie. There's plenty of room for you to be a lady in a relationship and to empower your femininity so that you can show a different type of strength when it comes to being with a man. And that too is work. It's a different type of work.
It's work,
but it's something you have to commit to.
Because you're so used to doing it all yourself.
Absolutely.
So when somebody says, you know, oh God, let me tell you, great girlfriends, this is hilarious because when you're asking a man to do something, it might take him about 4 or 5 days to do it. Right?
Truth. I'm gonna go down my mental list.
Maybe longer. Maybe longer, right?
Nevertheless.
But it's being able to let that task go.
Yes.
And releasing and surrendering that task. And it can be as simple as changing a light bulb.
Yes, that you know you can change.
That you know you can change.
You know you can change, but you trust that the gentleman in your life is going to change that light bulb for you. And so you're willing to be the lady that waits for him to change that light bulb out of honor and respect for you trusting him as a man. It's a sign of trust. It's a display of trust.
Yes.
That means the world to them. It might be insignificant to us sometimes because we're like, I could just change it. Yeah, but to him, that's him putting on his armor. That's him slaying those dragons, princess. It goes from the light bulb to going out to work every day, to being a father to children, to financially preparing for you, to being fit, to all the other things that are on that list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those things I hear women say all the time, I can just do this myself. I'm like, no, just wait. Let him do it. He's going to do it. He's been saying he was going to do it. I'm like, but just let him do it.
It will get done. At some point.
We don't know.
Light your candles until.
At some point.
Yeah, but we can't be afraid of the work. We can't be afraid of doing what it takes to show up as the woman, the lady, the love that you want your guy to receive from you.
Yes.
And that's not always easy, but it's so critical. And I'm going to say in 12 years of marriage, we'll be 12 years in April. Come on, give it up. Show some love. A decade and 2 years.
Yes.
What? I mean, who would have thought? You heard from the last episode.
If y'all heard the last episode.
You know, this wasn't on my list. Yes. You know, everybody got their list. And when everyone else was talking about fairy tales, I was just like, I just don't have that as a fairy tale. I didn't have that as an imagination for my life. And it was not short of any work. It has been the most work I've ever had to do in my life. But I love my husband so diligently that I don't consider it as work. I just see it as part of me loving him.
Yeah.
So it's become part of my fiber to serve him with whatever the lady in me can offer him, whatever the woman can bring to the table.
Absolutely.
The mother, whatever that is that I bring to the table. But the work part of it for me, I've traded it for just my love language. How do I want to communicate Sybil to him?
Yes.
He signed up for Sybil, right?
Yes.
And he knew Sybil was a bunch of work.
Yes.
And I signed up for Kwaku. And I knew signing up that he wasn't perfect.
Who isn't a bunch of work?
Hello?
Show me one.
And if you
show me one freaking person that's not a bunch of work.
Listen, some of y'all are listening at your desk saying, I'm not a bunch of work.
Honey,
I got this together.
You are the most work. I promise. If you think you're not a lot of work,
you're a ton of work.
You're actually the most work.
You are the most high maintenance.
Yes.
I could think of. Yeah. Yes. And let it be us that say it to you before he can.
Yes.
Let it just be us.
You are the most work.
But that's okay.
We're all work.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And the truth of it is you want to be partnered with the person who can match your work. Like the person who's ready to do who match you in terms of commitment to work, commitment to love, commitment to showing up, commitment to intention, commitment. You want to get that person. You want to be able to match up with the person who shows compatible.
Yes.
Who shows compatible in the efforts that it takes to make that thing work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, great girlfriends, it's that time of year again. We're inviting you to join us for the 2019 Great Girlfriends Doers and Disruptors Conference, June 13th through 15th in New York City. Our 3-day event includes exciting receptions, life-changing panels, connections, masterminds, and more. This year, we had over 100 women from around the world connect with like-minded girlfriends and create incredible memories. Now it's your turn to be a part of this exclusive event. Visit our website, www.thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com, to grab a ticket for yourself and for your greatest girlfriend. We hope to see you there.
Hi, it's your great girlfriend, Brandice Daniel. I am so excited to announce that I am now an author. Yes, I've authored a book sponsored How to Get Brands to Pay for Your Next Event. Over the last 10 years, I've secured over $2 million in sponsorships for my company, Harlem's Fashion Row, and now I am teaching you how to do the same. You can get my new book on www.mysponsoredbook.com. And so we wanted to spill the beans. What is it? Spill the tea.
Yes, spill the tea. We're spilling tea.
We're spilling the tea on what the effort is.
Oof. Yes, Lord.
And
yes.
these are 5 things that Sybil and I think are like just common. There's a whole lot more, but these are just like the common things.
Y'all should see me rubbing myself.
That are required. Yeah, she over here like...
I'm going to let Brandice take number 1.
Number 1, I have a friend, Joy Bailey Bryant, who always says this phrase. And she says, you know what? I'm just going to sit on my lips.
I love it.
And she says it just like that in her Atlanta accent. I'm just going to sit on my lips.
I love that.
And love requires that you just sit on your lips sometimes.
Absolutely.
That there are times you're going to want to pop off because, you know, sometimes it's a pop off moment. And you have the right to pop off.
Yeah, every right. Like you are fully within right.
You are fully within right to pop off.
Got a whole case.
But you just have to sit on your lips.
You got to sit on them.
Sometimes you just have to sit on your lips.
Yep.
Close your mouth. Don't say anything. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of that. And, you know, sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm going to let this pass. I am just, and marriage in particular requires a lot of sitting on lips.
Yeah. Absolutely. And thinking about the time. He's sitting on his lips as much as you're sitting on yours.
He's sitting on his lips too.
Sitting on his lips too.
Trust me.
There's a time to say certain things. There's a time to sit.
Sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yeah.
And it can be small things. Oh, he said he was going to take the trash out. The trash is not taken out. And the trash man won't be here until Friday. So now we have to sit 2 more days with this trash sitting around. And you're just like, I'm just going to sit on my lips.
Sit on it. He already knows in his mind.
He already knows he messed up.
He don't need an extra sermon from you.
He don't need an extra sermon from you.
So true.
And the times when you sit on your lips, you'd be surprised at how God handles it for you.
Absolutely.
You
and
don't have to handle everything.
Him.
Yeah, and yes.
Yeah. And that's not sitting on your lips and slamming things around the house. That's not sitting on your lips and calling everybody else and mouthing off. That's literally resting. Sitting on your lips and just resting.
Yes, that's so
resting.
Good,
and it's moving forward. And I remember my first probably 3 years of marriage. If there was something that Kwaku did or did not do that just irritated me in some way. And I had a lot of great women that go before me that told me just to keep quiet. You know, I would find something to clean. And I remember one time a friend came up, she was like, you keep your apartment so clean. And all I could do was laugh because I was thinking of all the times that I was like, I'm just going to go clean the toilet. I'm just going to wash some dishes. I'm just going to find something to clean. I'm going to do something constructive with this time. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to go do something constructive. Right. And when my friend came over, it just reminded me of that. I'm sorry. That's a little sidebar.
But that is a major key. Ladies,
it's number one.
That is a major. We just dropped a major key.
Yep.
Because as women, we are running things.
Yeah.
We are running things, but you have got to, you have a persona for work, you have a persona for home.
Yeah. And you just don't want to be mouthy.
Right.
You
It's
don't
annoying.
want to be mouthy.
It's annoying.
You don't want to be mouthy as a wife. And even, in motherhood, my kids are 8. Oh, Sam will be 9 and 6. And I don't want to be a mouthy mom. I don't want to chase them with words and nag and nag and nag and did you.
Because it really does. I mean, if you grew up in a house like that, it really can just like, ugh.
Yeah, it creates anxiety. It creates stress. It creates tension
and home,
resentment
instead of like peace. And you just want your house to be a place of peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Second thing is framing. And
great girlfriends got their pen and paper out for this episode.
Framing is so important because when you do speak, you want to make sure that you are always building him up.
Yes.
Even in your criticism, because sometimes when you are giving him feedback that doesn't feel good, you have to massage every muscle in his being to remind him that you're not attacking his manhood.
Yes.
You're actually strengthening him and conditioning him so he can be an even stronger man.
Yes.
Than he was before. But you never want to break him down. You want to frame things and finesse them with a red lip. Yes. With a high heel, a mini skirt, some fragrance, and soft, empowering words.
Yes.
Soft, empowering words. You never want to blame. You always want
Don't do the blame game. Because what'll happen is if you start, it goes back and forth.
It weakens him.
Blaming can go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And now because sometimes if you attack, guess what? He has to defend himself. So an attack might come back at you.
Oh, it's coming
and
back.
Then, and then where do we, if we go back and forth, there's no gain in that. Mm-hmm. And what did you resolve?
Nothing. The issue sat on the table.
Right. So you have to decide, actually, do you want resolution from this? Or do you just want to let him know what he didn't do?
Yeah. I always have to stop myself because I came from a house where my mom was definitely the over communicator. She definitely made sure everything was felt and known. So that's in my bones and I know it. But I'm conscious of that. I have to, before I say something, I have to go to God and find out what it is he wants me to say versus what I feel is necessary in the moment. And they are typically two different things. Typically, God wants me to say something in love and kindness or nothing at all.
Right.
But he wants me to frame it in a way so my husband knows that he's loved, that I accept him, that I'm not challenging who he is as a person, but I'm highlighting something that I think could make us stronger.
Absolutely.
And that framing is key.
It is so key.
Yeah.
And number 3, love requires doing some things you don't want to do sometimes.
Say it again, Pastor. Say it again.
It requires doing some things you don't want to do sometimes.
Oh, yes, indeed.
I mean, so one of the things just in my household in particular, when I met Rich, being the Southern Memphis girl that I am, I would make his plate. Mm-hmm. And we have continued that tradition all the way for 10 years now, right? And not that I make it every single time, but it's a part of the culture of my home, okay? And then on the flip side of that, Rich still opens my car door. Mm-hmm. And that is the culture of our relationship. I love it. It's what he did in the beginning, and he still does it 10 years later. And there are times the other day, and now he comes to expect it. Because like my mother said, Bethel and Henderson said, don't start nothing that you can't finish.
That's so real.
And she said, in a relationship, don't start anything you can't finish. Mm-hmm. So the other day, he texts me, hey babe, I'll be home in 10 minutes. Can you make me a plate and put it in the microwave? I was in the bed in my pajamas. It was early, but I was still in the bed my pajamas, having a Brandice me moment to myself, relaxing. And I looked at that thing and I got such an attitude. I was like, what the hell when you come in? You can fix your own plate and put it in the microwave. What do you think this is? A takeout restaurant? I love it. You're like, what? I was like, does he think this is a takeout restaurant or what? And I literally had to remind myself, this is what I've decided to, one of the things I've decided to do consistently to honor him. Mm-hmm. And so it's a small thing. So Brandice, just go downstairs.
Yeah.
And it was cold. Just go, just put on your fuzzy slippers and your robe and just go downstairs, make the plate, put it in the microwave. You know, and that was something that in that moment I did not want to do.
I hear that. I hear that sacrifice.
I didn't want to do
service,
it. But he never knew. He
didn't know.
He doesn't, and he still doesn't know to this day that it is not something I wanted to do.
So I didn't know you fix plates. So is it just like a rich thing or like?
It's a rich thing.
Oh, sorry.
It's just a rich thing. It is a rich thing.
But that is so true. That sacrifice.
Yeah.
That sacrifice and that service indicates love. And it's work sometimes because like you said, you were comfortable. So it created a sense of like, you know, you being uncomfortable sometimes you being put out of or inconvenienced.
Right.
So that your relationship can get a gain.
Yes.
Not you necessarily, the relationship. Because what we're working on is a relationship.
Yes.
We're not working on a Brandice gain, a Rich gain, a Sybil gain, a Kwaku gain. We're working on a relationship gain.
And that is such a key, Sid.
Yeah.
Because if you approach relationship as in, okay, you won this and I won that and you won this and I won that and you're not putting the relationship first.
Girl, that relationship over there dusty.
It's dusty. and
then you look at the relationship like, what happened? What happened? What didn't happen?
Right.
What did not happen?
Yes,
is
absolutely.
what you need to be saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, number 4, girlfriends, I really, really hope y'all are like taking these notes.
These are keys.
And locking them in because I'm telling you, I'm a happy wife. I'm just saying.
You need to share this with all of your great girlfriends.
Absolutely. So number 4 is learning to give what you want to receive. Oh, that exchange is so valuable. It's loving in a way that you would want someone to consider you. Mm-hmm. And it's not exactly the actual practical, exact things. It's not I fix plates, therefore Rich should fix plates.
Right.
It's not that. It's I'm loving in a way that would indicate to Rich it's safe for him to love me in a way that he knows I would want to receive love. Mm-hmm. It's consideration. Mm-hmm. Consideration. Again, it's a relationship gain. Mm-hmm. It is not a Brandice gain. It's not a Sybil gain.
It's a relationship.
It's a relationship
game.
game.
And sometimes we sit back as women and we say, oh, why come he can't be more romantic? I want him to be more romantic. He hadn't bought me flowers in forever. And we're like, okay, so when last time have you done anything romantic for him?
Come on.
When last time you left a note in his car before he went to work, a love note, you know, because those things mean a lot.
Yeah. Full transparency. I told myself in December, I was like, what don't I like about my bedroom? Like, what is it that I desire more of in my bedroom? Mm-hmm. And I desired more sexiness in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, Sybil, but for real, you got sweats on right now. For real? but you saying, and sweats can be sexy, don't get me wrong. And right, you're absolutely right. It all gets ripped off in the first place. That's not the point. The point is what I desire to give to him so that the relationship can have gains. Because I know what that communicates to my husband when I show up with, a little strip of fabric wrapped around my body, glossed up. Like I'm fully aware of that. But if I want that from my bedroom, if I want that from my relationship as a gain, I have to offer that. Yes. Likewise, that will give him the signal that that's what we're bringing to the table. Right. So what's he gonna do? Rip his shirt off, grease up. Like honestly, it will show up. The love will reveal itself back to you in whatever the language is that you receive when you give it out. And that is something that you have to create that consideration as a consciousness and intention in your relationship that you want to offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And number 5, I'm just going to say, relax. Mm-hmm. Just relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to create an atmosphere of ease.
Yeah.
Just ease. And I always want to be the place where Rich is happy to come. Mm-hmm. Happy to come and tell me about work. Happy to come and tell me about friend issues. Mm-hmm. Happy to come and tell me about dreams and ambitions. But it's difficult to do that if I'm always high maintenance or high stressed or got a complaint or blaming or, always got something. But if I'm like super relaxed, like just relax.
Yeah. It creates such a peace, a tranquility that you never want to trade. You never want to trade it. And when he feels that, coming home is his greatest joy. Yes. He don't have to make 1,000 pit stops on the way home. He is coming home, straight home from work. And if he is making a pit stop, it's short. Yeah. Because he's trying to get home. And he wants to be in a place where he can get there and be with you. He's not escaping. Yeah. He's not running off to the man cave. Yeah. And he's not running off to a separate zone. Yeah. He's not escaping. He's there with you in this relaxing ease. Yeah. I think sometimes that's so important because I in conversation, I hear wives saying that they just need to get away. And, I was telling Kwaku this just last week. I said, you know what? I'm so grateful that I never want to get away from my relationship. Mm-hmm. When I go on a vacation, I want to go on vacation so I can experience a new city or I can explore something or I can, touch some sand. But it's not so that I can escape the life that I've built. Mm-hmm. This is my life. I have framed it this way. This is my relationship. Right. And that for me means the world. It's because every day has a day of ease. It's a day of peace. And the relationship gets the gains they get.
Yes. Yeah. But I can use a break from that kiddo.
How'd she make it to this episode?
Because I'm just thinking, I can get away from this toddler trying to boss my life.
I have one more thing that I thought of that I didn't want to forget, and that is that comparison. If I could offer that as one, bonus solution to our great girlfriends, he's not the man that was before. He's not your dad. He's not the man that didn't show up. He's not all of those things that you've been through.
Someone else's husband.
Hello. Yeah. Stop comparing him. Yeah. Don't compare him. Don't question whether or not he's going to show up like the guy from the past or the guy that did or didn't or whatever. Yeah. Don't compare because you never give who he is the honor it deserves. You will never honor him if you're constantly, framing him against another man or perception of what a man should be. Then you question his manhood. You question a man's manhood. I promise you didn't lost him.
You lost him.
It's a wrap.
Gone.
It's a wrap.
He is gone.
You're going to be working.
He might not be gone physically. He may not be gone physically. But he's checked out.
Tell him he's not man enough. Oh, that's a wrap. And you do that. And these are subtleties, but you do it when you compare. Or it's even bringing up an ex's name. My ex so-and-so. Does that man really want to pay bills in that house and hear Rufus's name come up? You mean to tell me he wants to, on his dime? Right. In his time, in his lifetime, talk about your ex? Right. Or hear you bringing up memories of your ex?
Your daddy.
Or your daddy did. Or all these people that did things differently. Do you really think that man goes out and slays those dragons all day, wants to come home or go on a date night or be in conversation with you and hear all of these things you're rehearsing? Yeah. No. And you don't want it either. Yeah. So you have to remember that comparison. It is a deadly weapon.
It's a horrible thing. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Having said that,
Kwaku, I love you.
I love you, Kwaku. I love you.
And Rich Daniel, thank you, babe.
Yes, thank you, Sam and Dylan, for being super quiet so we can record.
I know. We can't even hear them. Thank you to Miss Sky.
They're so awesome. Oh, thank you, great girlfriends. Thank you so much for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter. Make sure you're listening every single Wednesday, now that we're back, on iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely. And please do follow us on our social, on our Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
Twitter,
_GreatGFS,
Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please join our Facebook group where we are actually recording this podcast live right now.
Yes,
which is the Great Girlfriends. Please do sign up for our newsletter as well on our website.
Yes, make sure you post your questions online, you share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
I'm Brandice.
And we're out.
Bye, guys.
Peace.